you know Now that you have learned about the 4 inner planets, it is time to study the remaining planets in the solar system. The outer planets are a group of 5 planets, which includes Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. These planets are called the outer planets because they are farther from the Sun than the inner planets. The outer planets are also called the Jovian planets. If you can remember that Jovian refers to the planet Jupiter, it will help to remind you that Jupiter is included in the outer planets. The outer planets formed under different conditions than the inner planets. As a result, the outer planets share many features, and they are quite different than the inner planets. When the solar system was forming, areas furthest from the Sun contained mostly gases. Gravity slowly pulled these gases together into large spinning clouds. Eventually, these clouds gained enough mass to produce a large amount of gravity, which attracted the few solids that were present. Over millions of years, gravity pulled these solids towards the center of each cloud. This formed a tiny core of rock and ice at the center of a huge ball of gas, and the outer planets were formed. The outer planets are made almost entirely of gas. Usually, the gas from an element will take up more space than its solid form. This is the reason that the outer planets tend to have larger diameters than the inner planets. Most of the outer planets have a much thicker atmosphere and a lower density than the inner planets, because they are made of gas. Up to this point, we haven't discussed the mass of each planet because the masses of the inner planets were all very similar. In this part of the lesson, we will discuss mass because most of the outer planets have a much greater mass than the inner planets. As a result, they produce much more gravity, which holds many moons in orbit around them. The outer planets are so far away from the Sun that they receive very little sunlight, which causes them to have lower surface temperatures than the closer inner planets. Now that you have studied how the outer planets are alike, let's look at the unique features of each planet. Drag the planet to the 5th orbit from the Sun to learn about Jupiter. Jupiter is 317 times more massive than Earth, and it has a diameter of 143,884 kilometers, which is 11 times larger than Earth's diameter. This makes Jupiter the largest and most massive planet in the solar system. Jupiter is the 5th planet from the Sun and is 778 million kilometers, or 5.2 AU, away from the Sun. It takes Jupiter 12 Earth years to complete one revolution around the Sun, but it only takes Jupiter 9 hours and 50 minutes to rotate once on its axis. This means that Jupiter has the shortest day length of any planet in the solar system. Jupiter has a very thick atmosphere made of hydrogen and helium that acts like a window curtain and scatters what little light the planet receives at this great distance from the Sun. As a result, the average temperature of Jupiter's atmosphere is about -150 degrees Celsius. Additionally, Jupiter has at least 61 moons in orbit around it, which is the most of any planet in the solar system. The most unique feature of Jupiter is probably the huge permanent red spot in the planet's atmosphere known as the Great Red Spot. The Great Red Spot is a huge spinning storm or hurricane that is 12,000 kilometers across, which is about the diameter of Earth. Scientists believe that heat coming from inside Jupiter causes the strong winds that form the Great Red Spot. These winds may also cause different gases to line up into visible bands that circle the entire planet. Gravity pulling towards Jupiter's center exerts such great pressure on the gases in the atmosphere that hydrogen changes into a liquid. This means there might be an enormous ocean of liquid hydrogen covering the surface of Jupiter. Jupiter has some of the largest moons in the solar system. Two of its moons, Ganymede and Callisto, are larger than the planet Mercury, and Ganymede is the largest moon in the solar system. Scientists believe that the moon Europa may have an ocean of liquid water under its icy crust. In addition, the moon Io is one of the most volcanically active places in the solar system.